I'm here joined with a bunch of our talented developers in order to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into what we have lined up for our 11.07 content update. One of the awesome features that we have coming in with 11.07 is actually a brand new zone that we have named Siren Isle. Our design philosophy when creating this zone
What did I say about these crystals? They're like a siren song, luring you in. It's a trap. That's all they are.
was to make sure that we made a very engaging outdoor end game experience that would cater to a whole bunch of different play styles and player types.
Siren Isle is a mysterious island located in a particularly stormy part of the ocean. During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kultirans to mine.
Yeah, there was Naga there. Yeah. Whoa, what did he just say? During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kultirans to mine azurite.
Located in a particularly stormy part of the ocean. During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kultirans to mine azurite, and then everybody mysteriously disappeared. Recently,
everyone mysteriously disappeared? Uh-oh. A particularly stormy part of the ocean. Did they get teleported? Sirens took them, or did they get teleported?
the island has sent out a massive pulse of energy, and everything heard it. And your allies are mounting an expedition to this island to find out what happened and investigate.
The island sent out a pulse. That's been heard. So that's what was heard across the water. They either got lured into the ocean by sirens or they got teleported. It's like Bermuda Triangle. It is like Bermuda. It is. In the stormy part of the ocean. It is. It is. This is much like Bermuda Triangle. Wait a second. That's interesting. What is that over there? Is that Kazan behind her? That is. She's got the Goblin City open on the monitor behind her. You think that's an accident? No way, right?
Investigate.
Players arrive in Dornegal to meet up with the Goblin Skagit, which is Gazlo's assistant. And we find that the Earthen and the Arathi have already made it to the island, so naturally Skagit's ready to go.
The Earthen and the Arathi beat us there, which means that the Arathi do build airships and beat us there. Oh, man. Oh, man. The Arathi were able to swindle a deal and build airships before we could get there. That is something. That is something.
He's like, get on the Zeppelin, let's go. It's time for adventure.
11.1 has to be Undermine. It has to be, dude. Right? With all this goblin stuff, the Undermine mentioned, it has to be, dude.
To the island, so naturally Skagit's ready to go. He's like, get on the Zeppelin, let's go. It's time for adventure. So what's fun about the Siren Isle is when players arrive, we see signs that Kultirans have been here before. But there seems to be nobody around, which is really interesting. We see all these buildings and structures.
She's got the same mouse as me. SteelSeries Aerox 9 wireless or Aerox 7 wireless right there. She's got it wired in, but I think that's the same mouse I'm using, I think. It's got the holes and everything. Maybe not. Who cares? Anyway.
Nobody around, which is really interesting.
Kizan on the monitor also. Jay, you're way behind, bro.
All these buildings and structures, but by the time the expedition gets there, it's empty. It's one of those fun little mysteries, we hope. So on this island, players are going to have a wealth of enemies to encounter. We actually have 3 separate groups. So we have the Bloodwake Vrykul, we have the Naga, and then we have a bunch of pirates. These groups will be rotating.
Vrykul, Naga, and pirates. Why are there Vrykul expeditions? They must have heard it then, right?
Around on the island, so players won't encounter the same group week to week.
It'll rotate.
Also, players will encounter.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What am I looking at? What the fuck? Hold on.
On the island, so players won't encounter the same group week to week. Also, players will encounter.
It's got literal lightning coming off of it, by the way. It's got literal lightning. That's
crystal in
crazy.
the center of the island that seems to sing gently or hum, which has attracted the attention of both the Arathi and...
There's a book right there. You see that? That's a lore book. And it's coming out of the ground. This thing's like coming up out of the ground. There's a lore book right there for sure, bro.
Arathi and the Earthen.
Not sure about the runes. So we have a couple different kinds. I see Vrykul. I see Drust.
Attracted the attention of both the
These ones up here are more Drust, I think. These ones are more Titanic Vrykul.
Arathi and the Earthen. So our friends on the island, they're all here for different
Hold on. They're all here. I gotta shut up. Everyone shut up, especially Pyromancer. That guy needs to shut the fuck up so this lady Katie can talk.
week. Also, players will encounter a large crystal in the center of the island that seems to sing gently or hum, which has attracted the attention of both the Arathi and the Earthen. So
It seems to sing gently or hum. Bro, I'm telling you, but this is not the calcified essence of Azeroth, bro. This is a fucking sham. This is a lie. This is not good. These are repeaters, bro. This is not good. This is not good. People being, oh, this is not good. This is not good. This is so bad. And this is only the second one, bro. There could be fucking 2 more. And then there could be one in the sky. Oh my God. Are we going to go to the sun? Or like, is the war within going to turn into the war without? Like, are we going to go to the sun? Like, what the fuck is happening in this expansion? Like, what?
Our friends on the island, they're all here for different reasons, which is really exciting. The Earthen and the
It's not death or fell colored though. Don't. Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting, but I wouldn't expect that that's going to be the case. The Naru have always held it. Guys, what? Don't give a sad face. It's literally fucking proving me right. Don't do this shit. Don't do this. Don't do this. Because of what we wanted in the headcanon? No. It's literally happening. I'm being proven correct as this is fucking happening, bro. This is bad for you, sorry. This is what I need. This is what I need. I need them all to be light and void. Because that's the way that I believe the story is structured, I guess. Because the light and the void is again, we're witnessing another individual's plan. We saw the Scourge. We saw the Legion. We've seen the Old Gods. We're witnessing another plan here, and I'm pretty sure it's Aman'Thul's, dude. I'm telling you, man.
And so they're a really fun cast of people to have because they're so different. But it's also fun to have them all together here because their differences actually might be more complementary than we think.
Yes, and that's the whole concept of light and void. Their differences are complementary to one another, right? They're like yin and yang, right? So while you might perceive the goblins as one way and the earthen as the other, they're very different, yes, but those differences are what make them work together potentially very well, because they can fill in those gaps where they may otherwise exist, or the Arathi, you might say, whoever she's comparing here. This dichotomy, this logic is important and applicable to the light and void, life and death, order and chaos. The whole point, and why I wanted to highlight what she said there, was that oftentimes, and this is a big theme in WoW with the Horde and the Alliance, oftentimes our differences are what make us great allies when the time comes. Because if we were all the same, then we would have no alternate solutions, no alternate tactics or ways of thinking. We would all just be Alliance, and we would all act as though we were in the Alliance, and we would all be Horde, and we would all, right? So in this way, our butting of heads is good because it opens the door for more opportunity for solutions. The problem is that we're better at finding reasons to go to war with one another than to come together for a good cause and find solutions to problems. And so that's why with the Horde and the Alliance, there's always this dichotomy of back and forth, because we haven't really been able to, in a meaningful way, set those differences aside in a permanent manner. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing the Horde and the Alliance have never merged into one. Because, again, if we weren't in opposition to one another, perhaps we would have stagnated and died a long time ago. And so that's something to think about, that, like, sometimes what you think is antithetical to yourself, it would be, better to complement what you're missing. Someone in YouTube chat remarked, not Bermuda, but perhaps the Odyssey describes a SIREN island next to Italy. Maybe it refers to that. Oh, okay. Fair. Fair. I don't know like a lot about Bermuda or anything. I was just talking about the concept of like stormy seas and things like disappearing there. Weird pulses of energy or weird instrumental readings, all things that I think have happened within the Bermuda Triangle.
Siren Isle, being in a particularly stormy part of the ocean, is regularly lashed by horrible tempests. During these storms, powerful...
So is this place in the storming seas? Do they tell us where this is? Isn't that, I mean, when he says it's in a particularly stormy part of the sea, like, doesn't that kind of imply that this is in the storming sea? Which they don't think so yet? Because if it is, chat, you guys realize the Arathi, like, sailed through that to get here. So when I think about the Arathi story about them coming here, or the Green Dragon flying through the stormy seas to get to Avaloran, that's what I think about. Is crossing this tempestuous section of the sea that is perhaps put up as a barrier so that only certain beings can actually go through it. Or something like that, you know? If there are Cyclops there, then it's definitely Odyssey coded. We'll keep an eye out for that.
Creatures of all kinds come up out of the ocean and assault the island. Players can defend their allies.
Whoa. Let's listen to this.
Of the ocean is regularly lashed by horrible tempests. During these storms, powerful creatures of all kinds come up out of the ocean and assault the island. Players can defend their allies to go into the storm. In order to do this, their allies have provided them with vehicles and weapons and other tools that they can use to take on these much more powerful enemies. There's all these...
Interesting. So it's like Belladar that it shifts into a storm, and then you can like pilot mechs and shit to like withstand the storm. That's kind of cool.
Up. Each of these caves has a deadly enemy inside. Players will be able to chip in, and you can donate to their excavations. And each of the factions, the Earthen, the Goblin, and the Arathi, have a different cave on the island, and players can donate to get the events to open.
Get your feet moving. We gotta talk.
I don't like this. I'm gonna say it. Don't like it. Don't like it. Here's why I don't like it. Because these spreadsheeting fucking goons are going to figure out whatever the most optimal one is to do, and that's all that's ever going to get sent. It's going to be sick. Can't wait.
Tunnel to blast open.
Circe Circlet is a mysterious ring that once belonged to a mythical, legendary siren named Circe. It's a very powerful item that'll give you an edge, especially on the Siren Isle.
Circe, is this a fucking, what is this? Is this a Game of Thrones reference? It's Odyssey. That's Odyssey. Oh, Circe, S-I-R-C-E. That's Greek mythos. That's Odyssey.
And as weeks unfold, you'll be able to unlock more gems, more powers associated with Siren Isle and the ring. So this is actually a model of Circe Circlet that you'll be able to see in game.
That looks like a three-eyed circlet.
One of our artists, Brittany Reinhardt, was able to throw it together, and you can see, like, even in game, you'll be able to see it on your character, which is, I thought it was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's how, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'd like more of that stuff.
It'll be fairly strong, and it'll have 3 different sockets. Each one is a different type, and you'll be able to collect a myriad of...
First quest on the island, slaughter all these random pigs we found. Gee, wonder why these settlements are abandoned.
different
The ring
gems
is a
that
key? Sounds like it.
fit into these sockets, all of which do different things. It'll have 3 different sockets, each one is a different type, and you'll be able to collect a myriad of different gems that fit into these sockets, all of which do different things.
I don't like this. I don't like this. They overcomplicate things for no reason. How about 3 sockets that are all the same kind of socket, and gems that specifically go in the ring that all have different effects? Why do we need 3 different sockets? 3 different fucking... It's It's just so overcomplicated to me. I don't understand. Just simplify it.
In the current season, they'll be fairly strong, and in the next season, they'll kind of be strong enough to give you a leadway to the new content coming.
So in other words, it'll be best in slot. It's best in slot. Is it too much of a borrowed power again? It's not that that's the problem. It's that the system sounds like shit. Why do we need this? Why do we need this ring? Why does it need 3 different slots and all these sockets? And like, how much time do you put into that? Like, I just don't get it. It's another way to nerf hard content, I guess?
Up. There's a slew of really cool mounts, a bunch of different transmogs.
It's just that it's complicated. Some of this shit's confusing as fuck. Just like gearing. Oh, it's pretty simple to get the different dragon crests or whatever. It's very simple. You just exchange them. You do this at this breakpoint. You don't need them anymore. Just Valor Stones reduced. Once you're at this level, you get this more. You do Mythic Plus of this level to get this gear type, which could be Hero Track, but you need this crest to upgrade. Whoa! Do you hear all of that? Awful. 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 Flexible. Yes. Complicated and awful. Crafting. Dog shit.
Some of which are unused from past.
It's just overly complicated. Here's the thing. You can make it complicated as long as you're willing to explain it in the game through more than just a quest text box that most players close. That's not adequate. And then, by the way, they don't have enough tutorials in the game to go back and figure out how to understand it. So if you like got into a system, learned how it worked initially, took a break for a few months, and then came back, you might have no idea how it works. And that's not good game design. Blizzard should not need to write their own guide on where to get anniversary tokens. That's so stupid.
Coming up. There's a slew of really cool mounts, a bunch of different transmog appearances, some of which are unused from past years that are really exciting to finally.
That is dope. That is a flying lightning Anzu mount, bro. What the fuck?
Unused from past.
So first off, this one's kind of cool.
Years that are really exciting to finally get into the players' hands. They've seen.
Oh, the Stormcrow finally makes a return. Finally, dude. How many times did we see this fucking thing? Fucking Stormcrow from 5.4. Yeah, Miss a Pandaria. Fucking crazy.
They've seen it in the files long enough.
Oh, he makes a remark. They've seen it in the files long enough.
That are really exciting to finally get into the players' hands. They've seen it in the files long enough.
My man.
First thing is we look for a lot of reference to make sure that we're making something believable, something that seems like it's grounded in nature's rules enough so that when players look at it, there's nothing that's just like totally breaks their immersion. The aesthetic is really interesting. It's
so important for me because as I'm looking at like the cave in Hollowfall and stuff, and I'm looking at the geological evidence that is there, it always comes into the back of my mind of like, are they really thinking this much about it? Like, do they really have people that know how these? Surely they do, right? And so it's cool to hear someone that's a world designer say like, we try, to not break the immersion because of things that don't make any sense. Right? Grounded in nature's rules is a very interesting way to put that. And it's good for me because it helps us understand the age of things.
We look for a lot of reference to make sure that we're...
I'm also going to put this out there. I really like how they're taking these people that otherwise don't really get the spotlight or maybe too much of an opportunity to discuss what it is that they do or put their face out there, right? Like, I've talked about this before, how there's a very deep disconnect between Blizzard and the people that work at Blizzard. And so I had a video where I talked about, you know, Maria Hamilton and Ann Stickney and Chris Metzen, and someone made a comment. They're like, how could you even put Ann Stickney and Maria Hamilton in the same breath as Chris Metzen? They're nobodies. And I'm like, yeah, that's the problem, you fucking moron. That's literally the problem, you dipshit. It's the same thing that happens in the military. The guy in charge gets all the fucking credit for the success of the operation, not the people who did the work, okay? So it's the same fucking thing, right? These are real people that are actually there working, whether you accept that or not. They're there. They put in a lot of work. Some of the best storylines I've played in this game were written by Ann Stickney, who this person called a nobody. What an arrogant, rude fucking thing to say. So I think it's cool that they're putting faces out here more, because honestly, these people deserve recognition. And for far too long, it's gone to just Chris Metzen and to just people like that. And that's not right. That's not right.
Making something believable, something that seems like it's grounded in nature's rules enough so that when players look at it, there's nothing that's just like totally breaks their immersion. The aesthetic is really interesting. It's kind of inspired in some ways by the American Southwest. Like I was looking at some references of Arizona and stuff, the elements of those cliffs there. And so those are some of the things that we'll do to bring the world to life.
So I'm very curious then where this will be located. Because geography and its location is very important to me. I'm of the opinion, chat, and I've been of this opinion, and Red Shirt Guy pointed this out a long time ago. There's something weird about the world of Azeroth. I don't know where the Prime Meridian lies. I don't know where the equator lies in WoW. But I kind of think that the location of the equator and tropical and subtropic zones can be indicative of that. But also it makes me wonder, is it possible that, this is going to sound weird, is it possible that the way that we view things like the world map is like upside down? Where like north is actually south and south is north and the equator is... Like, I guess what I'm just putting out there is that like, it's easy to kind of forget about those kinds of things when you're just exploring the world. But it just makes you wonder, like, where is the equator actually?
We have filled this thing with a lot of secrets, even more than in some of our previous full zone maps, because it's smaller, it's denser, so I'm excited to see if people can find all the crazy stuff that we did. I put in this little spooky spot back here. The quest designers wanted like an atmospheric kind of creepy spot, so I put like lots of animal bones have kind of been washing up in here. Another thing that's cool too is all these little like caves and micros that we added in. Each one kind of has its own crazy theme. Like over here, they'll spawn in this like crazy dragon that's gonna get spawned in from all these bones that have been collected and stuff. So that's kind of like the pinnacle of this like little creepy pocket over here. This used to be like an azurite mine over here in the center. So there's like elements of what happened here, but then you can tell something happened. And there's also this really cool stuff that was put up in the ridges of the mountains. And one of the things I helped out with doing was like making a lot of this space playable. So instead of just being limited to a flat 2D plane, we can put stuff on top of that 2D plane, and then you get new gameplay experiences, new vantage points, like this big mine track that goes above everything.
That's fun.
We definitely do a lot of play
The
testing
Azurite
and
looks
soup
odd
testing
though.
amongst
Yeah, I'm gonna look at
ourselves,
that
and
again.
That really helps to right mine.
It's got the blue and it's got the black, or the gold, but they're not really blending together that much.
Over here in the center. So there's from all these bones that have been collected and stuff.
Hold
so
on.
That's kind of, it's denser. So I'm excited back here. Creepy spot. Animal bones have kind of been washing up in here. Another thing that's cool too is all these little like caves and micros that we added in. Each one kind of has its own crazy theme. Like over here, they'll spawn in this like crazy dragon that's gonna get spawned in from all these bones that have been collected and stuff.
A dragon bone in a Drust ritual area with what kind of energy is that?
So that's kind of like the pinnacle of this like little creepy pocket over here. This used to be like an azurite mine over here in the center. So there's like elements of what happened here, but then you can tell something bad happened. And there's
This used to be an Azurite mine. There are elements of what happened here. You can tell something bad happened, like an explosion, a
Also,
fire.
really cool stuff that was put up in the
All the black area around it looks like scorched earth almost.
ridges of the mountains.
Yellow looks like lightning scars. Black looks like roots underground. Looks charred. Could be that like lightning root thing that we were talking about. Why are those bones here? Are the creatures coming to die, or are they prey being killed? He makes it sound like they're washing up on the shore. But I wouldn't be surprised if animals or something could hear the call as well to some degree. The creatures might be getting called to as well. Yeah.
One of the things I helped out with doing was like making a lot of this space playable. So instead of just being limited to a flat 2D plane, we can put stuff on top of that 2D plane, and then you get new gameplay experiences, new vantage points, like this big mine track that goes above everything. We definitely do a lot of play testing and soup testing amongst ourselves, and that really helps too. I'm not just kind of designing stuff in my corner that will like get people to actually run through it, and I'll get opinions from people who haven't been building it to see like where do they get lost, where are the pain points here. And that's a process we don't just go through for this, we go through it for all the spaces we design in our game. And again, we'll also look back at previous examples of what did players like from previous zones.
This is retrospective story. Kulturas didn't know about Azurite until Battle of Azeroth. Yeah, they said that. They said that during the Fourth War, which is Battle for Azeroth, the Kultirans mined this. That's the Fourth War.
What did they not like? We try to learn from our past mistakes and learn from our past successes and bring that forward into our new stuff.
One of my favorite little Easter eggs, because there are plenty on this isle, there are plenty of Easter eggs and secrets for people to look forward to. One of my favorites personally is the bestiary, actually, all the creatures that are native to the island. One of the things that I took a lot of inspiration from was actually Darwin's finches on the Galapagos, and that essentially states that there are all of these finches that are very closely related, but on different islands their beaks have become different, right? So they have adapted to do different things and eat different things. So I took that concept and I put it on the Siren Isle. It's like, we have this isle. What are all the creatures that have come here? How has the island been affected over time? Like, all of the creatures are intentional, and it's a fun Easter egg that I don't think people would look for, but I hope that they'll enjoy uncovering the secret of the history of the isle through the creatures as well.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll be having a look at wildlife and everything too.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Our team had a blast in creating and bringing to life Siren Isle, and we really hope that you have just as much fun exploring it as the team did in creating it. Wanted to thank you all again, and we really hope to see you
hopefully
all
it's fun.
in the Siren Isle.
Hopefully it's like a fun little casual thing to do and I don't have to grind my fucking face away at special ring gems and sockets for hours on end, because that will fucking burn me out. But yeah, most of that looks pretty interesting and exciting. Face old enemies and unravel new mysteries. A new currency, Flame-Blessed Iron, is available to trade for items like mounts, pets, gear, and transmogs, as well as upgrades for a powerful new ring, Circe's Circlet, which can be found by players. Flame-Blessed Iron is also used to spawn one of 3 event bosses on the island, giving players an additional opportunity to earn unique rewards. Add some spark to your adventure when you collect items across the Siren Isle to help release Threyr, Eyes of the Siren, an electrifying storm crow mount from its bonds. Threyr. Reminds me of like Thrager. There's a plunder storm on the horizon. The Battle Royale inspired event comes back for a limited time. Why? Early in 2025. Just fucking put it in the fucking game. Stop with this FOMO fucking cuck shit. Put it in the fucking game. Permanently. God damn. Why do they do this so much? Put it in the fucking game. Kegleg returns to pillage the Arathi Highlands. Great. Join the crew. Fight to be the last pirates standing. They're scared of it dying? It's so cool. Oh my god, I hate Ugh. Short attention span. Shit. Join the crew. Who cares? New and returning transmogs and mounts. Explore the fate of the Kirin Tor. Delve into the aftermath of Dalaran's fall in the War Within Epilogue questline. Isn't the epilogue the end? Guess it's over, fellas. War Within max level epilogue quest, maybe. Or an epilogue for Dalaran? Very weirdly worded, strangely worded. The Kirin Tor must confront their past mistakes and decide on the future course of their people. Imagine if they began to stray away from the use of magic to some degree. What are they gonna change? What would they change? Confront their past mistakes and decide on the future course of their people. I'm really fascinated for that one. Story prologue. Oh, here we go. It's the .0 epilogue is what they're it's 11.0 epilogue. And then we go into prologue for 11.1. So that makes it way more clear. Continue the story of the War Within and uncover a familiar face in the darkness. A familiar face in the darkness. Uncover a familiar face. It could be time to bring the Naga. Could be. Turbulent timeways come back. They return. Timeways shudder once again. Time-walking dungeons. Those who master the timeways will be awarded with the Timely Buzz Bee Skyriding mount. Arathi ear customizations for humans and Kultiran. You can have elf ears as a human in Kultiran. Get the fuck out of here.